Back again with a very simple episode. I would have skipped this similar to last episode, but I think this episode is important for one important reason: setting tone. Basically, this episode is what cemented, at least for me personally, what this season would be about. A more lighter, easygoing focus compared to last season's, which were all about battles and Ash's improvement as a trainer, and other subplots that popped up here and there. This is what cemented it for me. But pretty much like last episode, overall this episode is filler. So if you're interested at the prospect, then I'd turn away here. But for those of you who can mind the filler, let's delve a bit deeper at episode 6, shall we?
ビリビリチクチクトゲでまる
We begin our episode with Kukui leaving Ash home alone for some reason. He says he's going to the lab for one reason or another, but I don't know why he's taking Rockruff with him, especially considering we'll learn about Rockruff later. Anyway, Ash, Pikachu, Rowlet, and Rotom sit around enjoying themselves and having a pretty relaxed time. However, Ash decides to do a good and do the laundry, only to fail and then decide to move on to making lunch. After a failed attempt at cooking, in which he wastes all the food in the refrigerator, Ash decides to go to the mall to get groceries, as that was where Kukui was planning to take him today anyway. Ash manages to find the mall by himself, surprisingly, and, amazed at the sheer size of the place, runs to Sophocles and Togedemaru. The pair head off to get ice cream, and we pass Team Rocket working at a mall soda shop. Ash and Sophocles eat, while Team Rocket does their usual stick on break, remembering what they're actually there for, capturing Pokemon like always. They head off to a back room and James tries cracking the security system while Jessie oversees him, with Meowth looking around as lookout. After Mimikyu spooks Meowth for the upteenth time, he rushes back and knocks into James, which causes him to hit the alarm and seals him up in a room. Because across the entire mall, the place is going into lockdown mode, with alarms going off and the guard doors starting to block off areas of the map. Of course, Ash and Sophocles are separated from their respective Pokemon, because that's just a trope at this point, with Sophocles freaking out because the lights are going out and he's afraid of the dark, with Ash trying his best to calm him down so the pair can come up with a plan. After checking up with Rotom, both sides decide to meet up in the power room, with Pikachu, Togedemaru, and Rotom making their way through the vents and onto the roof, just in time for Team Rocket to manage to escape as well. And Mimikyu, of course, upon seeing Pikachu, wastes no time and starts to attack, with Team Rocket joining in on the fight as they manage to push the Pokemon into relative corners. Ash and Sophocles appear and do their best to stop Team Rocket, with Sophocles come up with a plan to use Togedemaru's Lightning Rod ability. After powering up with some electricity from Pikachu, Togedemaru charges ahead and knocks Team Rocket away, only for Bewear to come up and snatch them up again. After everything, the pair leave the mall, with Ash forgetting why he even came there to begin with, and upon returning home apologizes to Kukui for everything that he did and emptying out the fridge, before they all decide to head to Mal's restaurant for dinner. This episode is the basic definition for a filler episode. Not a lot really happens here. Hell, even Team Rocket's encounter is actually pretty minor when you get down to it. But this was the episode I started to realize that this is more of a tone-setting thing. The pace and tone of this episode is basically carried over across the entire season. A more relaxed, minor key events, with some major events happening every so often. Now, I do like the beginning part, seeing Ash sitting around the house playing with his Pokemon and trying to get his head around chores is pretty interesting, and of course watching him screw up time and time again is also somewhat funny, but yeah, it does feel pretty lackluster in the grand scheme of things. I will say that there are some minor realizations I received when I saw the whole crowd scenes. In previous seasons, when you saw crowds of people, you would only see maybe one or two Pokemon. That's just like the first few episodes, but in most every crowd scene in this season, we get tons of Pokemon. I don't know why, it's just a weird thing about this season. They want to emphasize the bond that people and Pokemon have, which is something that was only touched upon last seasons, but they're fully exploring here. Overall, this is filler, not really important, but it's an okay episode. If you skip it, I don't blame you, but I say give it a shot. It's an interesting 20 or so minutes if you skip opening and ending. Well, that's one more episode down. Thank you one and all for watching this episode. I hope to see you all next time for episode 7. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you want to talk to me more directly, I'm more active on Twitter than on YouTube. I also have a DeviantArt page. And if you don't mind reading stuff, there's a Tapas page. All this is linked in the description below. There's also a Twitch I should probably get more active on. And yeah, I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Till then, everybody.